Good morning, everyone. Can you please confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can
I
hear you,
can
sir.
hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you
we
so
can.
far. It's nice being with everyone this morning. My name is Victor Afolabi. I'm founder at Forbes Plays Up and a few other startups. And yeah, like she said, I've had opportunity of winning a few grants here and there. So this morning I'll be taking us through a very important topic for, I believe I'm speaking with business owners this morning. So I'll be speaking through a very simple topic, which is grant writing and accessing funds. So allow me to share my screen in a bit. Yeah. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. So
Yes, sir.
grant writing and accessing funds. Um, so let's get into it straight. So we're going through some of these outlines. Yeah. So before we start, I would like if one or two persons, or at least three persons, respond to this. Would you like to have 100% of a business valued at $100,000 or 10% of a business valued at $1 million? So who would like to try? Just quickly unmute and you could talk to me.
I'd rather have 10% of a business valued at $1 million
Okay, and why is that?
because it's a blue chip company and it has grown in leaps and bounds, so to speak. They have a solid base for me.
Okay, so 10, you said 10% of $1 million, right? Hello?
Yes, I just answered emphatic yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get the idea. Any other person? I'm seeing a lot of 10% at the comment section, and the bio says 10% of business valued at 1 million, 10%, 10%, 10%. Okay, so well, there's a lot of 10% this morning. I would like someone else to quickly unmute and let me know why 10% of $1 million. Yes, please let's keep the class engaging. It's quite important. Do I have people here?
Yes, so
Okay, so I need someone to please respond. We need to have a conversation on this before we go on.
yeah, I'm the one that responded
Yeah.
to the 10%
Yeah, I'm
vocally.
trying to get someone else to please respond just to have idea.
Yeah. Good morning. My name is Abayomi. So I feel like 10% of $1 million company is like you having 10 different people, or let's say you're not the only one in charge of the whole business. So you have people with different expertise, and it's more likely to grow more than a 100% business. Since you have more money there again, you are likely to scale more than 100% of the business value at $100, $100,000.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I get the idea right now of how we view this based on the two persons that spoke. Yeah, so in the real sense, there's no right or wrong answer for this. It's all depends on perception and understanding of, for example, those going for 10% of the business, like you said, it has high potential for growth, and it means they've gone to a level where they are well established and the likes. But it can always things can still go south anyway, depending on the kind of investors you've given the remaining 90%. But all the same, it's still a safe option. 100% of a business valued at $100,000 is good, but also very, very risky, being that it's still a sole proprietorship model that is being run there. So basically, oh, okay, Monday, Stephen Ajewale, you raised your hand. You want to say something? Okay, I guess not. So, uh, so either ways, you are going to have to choose which kind of business you want to grow with. There are people that are actually okay. They don't really want so much growth, and it's not that bad. There are some businesses, the business owners who feels that the moment they allow investors in, they will lose the core values or the core reasons why they started the business. So probably they're not all for the money, money, money part. And some people really want to, have a global business. So this depends on what you want as a business person eventually. So when you're accessing or trying to write for grants, you need to ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want? So thank you so much for talking. All right. So the first thing I would like us to quickly talk about is understanding grant application processes. Right. So been privileged to win a few grants here and there, both international and local ones. TEF, the local ones that is very popular. I'm sure most of us are aware of that. There was a Facebook grant sometimes ago, I think about 2 or 3 years ago, and a few grants here and there. So understanding grant application processes. So these 5 processes you need to understand while you're working to get a grant. First of all, you need to research the available grants. Now, as an entrepreneur, you must spend some time online searching for opportunities, if not every day, but like very often, every week, because there are opportunities that keeps coming out now and then. And you must keep yourself informed. If not, a lot of opportunities will pass you by. I hear a lot of entrepreneur friends be like, "Oh, when did this one come out? When did that one come out?" You may not always be in the know if you're not always researching. So the first thing is researching grant opportunities, and these are very few amongst many, many, many other websites where you can constantly, you know, constantly check out for grants, and opportunities that might align with your goal as an entrepreneur. I believe we can all see the screen. So these are very few. There are many others online, but at least I use these ones very often and they are quite updated. All right. So second thing you need to do is understanding the requirements from the grant bodies, which is reviewing the guidelines provided by the grant organizations, the eligibility criteria, um, application deadlines, required documentations, budget guidelines, and evaluation criteria. So many people jump on grants regardless of whether they are eligible or not. And this is like a I wouldn't call it an African thing. That would sound somehow, but most of us do it in the sense of whether it works through or not. Yes, I've heard the story of a lady who's put in for a grant that Nigeria was not eligible for, but because our application was really, really convincing, she managed somehow to convince the organizers to at least allow her, after a lot of processes, to be part of the grant. And surprisingly, they allowed her. So, except you are willing to go through that stress of convincing the organizers beyond the normal, everybody pulling in application, then putting in for an application or a grant that you're not eligible for is a no-no, is a no-no. So whenever you see, after researching for grant opportunities, when you see the guidelines, please read everything. There's a reason why the organizers wrote the guidelines line by line for you, because every organization that is giving grants, they have a goal they are trying to achieve. They have a problem they are trying to solve. So if you're just putting in whether it's your solution aligns with what they are trying to do or not, you'll just be wasting quality time. So the next thing you need to do is preparing and reviewing a proposal. So I believe, or let me assume that we all have been taught how to write business proposals, business plans, um, pitch deck, and all those documents. Please just tell me in the comment section if you've had that class, any classes on business plan, business proposals, pitch deck. I'm waiting for you. Not yet. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay. So I want to assume that the organization would work out that. So because it happens to be one of the documentations you must have before you apply. In fact, majority, more than 90% of grant bodies will require one of these or many of these documents: business plan, proposal writing, pitch decks, right? So you must have these documents on grant. Okay, thank you so much. I've seen a lot of no, and I understand. Okay, so preparing to write proposal, read guidelines thoroughly. So, for example, a business plan should be a living document. Some people write business plan and they just go and sit and they submit the same business plan or business proposal or pitch deck to every grant body. You'll be doing yourself a lot of harm that way. Why? Is because you need to be able to write according to the expectation of the grant body. There is, whenever you read the criterias, you also research the company's background. So by researching the company's background, you understand the logic or the reasoning of that company, what they are focusing on. So you need to be able to tailor your grant or your proposal or your business plan according to what the organizers are trying to get or understand. They have a goal. So you tailor your writings towards their goal. So you are writing, you're a fashion designer, for example, and you're writing for a green energy kind of business. Now you cannot go all out and talk about how great your fashion business is. You cannot go all out writing about the technicalities that is involved in your beautiful designs. This time around, since you're a fashion designer writing for a green energy grant, now it's time for you to start thinking of, okay, is there a way you could write something about recycling waste while you're making the clothes for your customers? That, okay, when you recycle clothes, there is a way you use it to generate another kind of design because you are saving waste. So there's no waste from your production. Or there is a way you're working, the energy you use at work as a way of reducing emission of carbon to the atmosphere, trying to appeal to the goal of the organizers. So you cannot afford to say, okay, I've written my business plan, I've written my pitch deck, I've written my proposals, and I'm going to submit the same proposals to 10 different grant bodies. That would not be very, very effective. So please read the guidelines, then outline, find a way to redesign your business to appeal to the goal of the grant body. All right. So, and the last one, second to the last, submitting the application proposal document by the deadline. So you need to meet up with the deadline, right? I've had a lot of friends where a grant will be on and everybody's trying to write for it. And somehow, they just lose track of time trying to perfect their application. And let me tell you the truth, it's not all the time that your application will be accepted just because it's perfect. There are times where once you've included what the organization is looking for, they are willing to help you through your journey of growth until you get to where you're going. So the last part is the reviewing process. Allow somebody else to review your application. There is high chance, because you wrote the application and you are quite excited about your idea, that you may not be seeing the little errors you might have made while writing the proposal. So allow somebody else that you trust, probably your partner or somebody you know cannot dub your idea if it's extremely unique or so, and allow them to review so that corrects the grammatical errors and let them review it before you submit. Okay, so the next one is identifying suitable grant opportunities. Identifying suitable grant opportunities. So first of all, you need to ask yourself your objective. Define your objective, because you need to understand that grant bodies, like I said, the most important thing while applying for grants is to understand the goal of the grant body. There are grants that are looking for people focused on women. There are those looking for those focused on youth. There are those looking for those focused on schools. So if your business does not align to a grant goal and you are applying, it's a waste of time. So please, before you go ahead, ask yourself, okay, am I looking for example, an equity kind of funding where you have to give a share out of your company, or you are looking for somebody that will give you grants without repercussion, no need for you to give out any part of your company, no need for you to let go of anything. What kind of funding are you looking for? Are you looking for a funding that will allow you access to mentorship? Are you looking for a funding that will allow you access to trainings? These are the questions you must ask yourself before jumping on grant opportunities. Because if you enter a wrong grant opportunity and eventually you're selected, you might end up bargaining with a condition that will take away your company totally. As sweet as the 10% of $1 million question I asked you at that time was, because you have access to more money, mentorship. If the people on your team does not have the same goal as yourself, they can actually buy you out and get you out of the company. So please make sure your objectives are well defined before jumping on an opportunity. Review the eligibility criteria. Consider your niche. Consider your niche. Understand the niche. Then review past recipients. If it's possible, before entering a grant, make sure you try and research if you could get access to people that have been funded by that body before. The reason is because you will know whether those people are real or not. Another reason is because such a person who is experienced understands what it takes to win again on that grant. So, that's another form of mentorship you can look for yourself, and it's easy to get some of these guys on LinkedIn. Once you get on LinkedIn, just probably use the company's name, or if the grant has a name, you can type it there and ask past winners. So most people will put former beneficiary of this disease on their LinkedIn page to help their visibility. So from that, you can get access to them, message them, and politely, some of them would respond to you. So evaluating funding terms. Are you going to have to give a part of your company? Do you have to have some kind of background before you get the money? All right. Element of a successful grant proposal. So when you're writing a grant proposal, these are the basic things. Now, there's no one size fits all. There's no, this particular outline you're looking at may not work for all grants. However, these are the basic things any grant body wants to ask. There might be other questions that are very customized based on the organization. There might be some exceptions, but generally, this is the outline you will be expected to have. Okay, Adefe, please do not draw on the board. Thank you. There, way to rub that off. Okay. If the admin is here, please. Thank you very much. All right, so like I said earlier, these are like the expectations generally for grant proposals. So normally you will have a title, then you have a summary, like an executive summary. This is like the summary of everything you're about to start explaining. It's like the most important part that investors would read majorly to know whether they should go ahead to read the other details or the whole proposal is a waste of time. So you have to write this summary last, so that you must have gone through all the details. Then you write it in a concise way for any lame person to just read and be interested in reading every other thing. Then organizational background, your organization's background is very important. Now, people want to give money to someone whose background is convincing, right? It's just like people that try to look for jobs. Uh, when you go for a job, you graduated maybe 5 years ago and you're looking for a job, and the employer will most probably ask you, what have you been doing? And you say nothing. You most probably not get that job because it means you are not personally being productive. You just want to come now and start gaining experience. So, but when you come and the uh, employer sees that, okay, for the past 5 years, even though you haven't got a proper job, you've been engaged in volunteering, you've been engaged in business, that gives them a sense of responsibility that, okay, this person is quite responsible. So that is that. Then the needs statement. This is a very important statement for you. Now, you need to be able to ask, right? You need to be able to ask for what exactly you need. So you've told them, okay, this is what my business is. This is what we do. We need this to move forward. I would still like to do a small exercise as time goes on the need statement. On the need statement. It's a very important statement that we all must understand. And it can also serve as your elevator pitch. I believe most of us listening are business persons. And if we are business persons, we should know what elevator pitch is. Am I right? Just you can in the comment section, yes, no, just to know where we're at. Hey, I'm waiting for us. Do we know what
Yes.
elevator pitch is? No, no. I'm seeing a lot of no here. Just use the comment section this time around. Okay, wow. Okay. All right, I see it. Okay, there's a yes, yes. Okay, two persons, Peter, Lisa, and Itunu says yes, but most people said no. Okay. Let me just quickly digress to explain what elevator pitch is. So elevator pitch is basically just like the name sounds, elevator. So that's how the idea comes. If you meet your investor in an elevator, and the elevator naturally will take maybe about a minute or 2 or 3 minutes. What would you say within 3 minutes that would convince the investor to ask you to come for more discussion? That's the question. What would you say to a billionaire? Remember, you don't have as much money as this investor has. So what would you say to this investor that will make them give you their money in just a minute or two discussion? That is
So
what
our customer
elevator
care line
pitch is
is zero
basically about.
five nine
So most of
six nine two zero five seven eight. Thank you very much for choosing ITAP Credit. Have a
oh,
nice day.
okay, I need okay, is it able to disable sound for everyone? Somebody was making a call now. Okay, thank you very much. I believe I'm good to go. Okay, I'll start again. For example, an elevator pitch, I'm trying to give an example. Say, we're a tech startup based in Lagos, Nigeria, revolutionizing agricultural supply chain through innovative blockchain technology. Our platform connects farmers directly with buyers, ensuring fair prices and transparent transactions. With our solution, we're empowering smallholder farmers, boosting efficiency, and creating sustainable economic impact. To say, but I would like to structure it
Sorry, the facilitator just got kicked out of the call. I'm sure it's a network issue. We'll be back shortly.
It's not. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, thank you. So sorry for that. So I was trying to say your need statement can be divided into four. All right. The first part is the problem. You're stating the exact problem you're solving. Then the solution that you are bringing, which is literally your product, to this problem that you're solving. Then the impact of the solution, all right? That could be on the people, on the community. Then the last part of your need statement is your ask. You need to ask what you need, all right? So quickly, I would like one person or two to tell me the problem they are solving. The problem you're solving, you could write it on the comment section or quickly unmute yourself and talk to me. What is the problem you're solving?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Peter Adisa,
Yes, go on.
the founder of Prexol Edu Solutions Limited. All right. So what we do basically, we provide counseling support services to schools and school counselors. So that means we
what's the
provide
problem
them.
you're solving?
The problem is we give them access to resources that they can use to facilitate effective counseling in schools. Like schools don't have enough.
That is not a problem. That's what you are doing. That's what you are doing. I'm saying, what is the problem you are coming to solve?
Okay, the problem we are coming to solve is to bridge the gap between effective counseling and counseling delivery. What I mean is a lot of counselors don't have resources to facilitate counseling in schools. So we have identified that gap that they don't have. For example, they don't have books, they don't have charts, they don't have content that they can share with the students in school. So that's the problem we're solving. We have identified that gap, that they lack those resources to facilitate effective counseling.
Okay, so now the challenge now is you've not told me the problem, actually. You feel you're talking about the problem, but you're talking around it. Now, the problem would be because of the lack of those things you just mentioned, what happens to those that are counseled, or what is the problem those you get? So, for example, you're talking, maybe there's a mental health issue that has resulted. All right.
Okay.
Maybe you're saying there's a mental issue that has resulted from this lack of material. That's the problem you're solving.
Okay. Okay. So let me reframe. Let me reframe
can you
that.
Define the problem?
Okay. The problem that we have identified that we're solving is lack of clarity in the process of career choice for secondary school students. So secondary school students they lack the clarity to choose career especially those that are in the terminal classes. And the reason is because
so the problem is students are confused as a result of under-trained or under-equipped counseling in secondary schools, right?
Exactly.
So I need you to be able to put, you see the way I put it in a single statement, I need you to be able to put your problem statement as simple for a layman to understand.
Okay.
You are the one that understands the deep and the explanations and everything. So you need to be able to put it in like a single sentence that captures the problem in a very effective way.
All right, sir. I will scribble that down. Maybe I can drop it in the chat.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to that.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else I would like to talk about?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I'm Maramide Yusuf, the founder of Optimal Health.
Right?
So the problem we solve is we solve the problem of infertility issue across Africa.
Okay.
And it has been observed that
Across
50%
Africa.
of babies are born. Yes, we were starting from Nigeria actually, but they tend to go globally.
Okay.
So we have discovered, research has shown that 50% of babies are born to mothers that are that are 30 years and above. And this is in correlation with the fact that there is an increase in fertility
Is it my
issue.
network or yours?
Okay, you didn't really get me. Maybe it's the network.
It was breaking.
I said, okay, maybe I'll take that again. I said research has it that 50% of babies are born to mothers that are over 30 years. And this is in correlation with the fact that there is an increase in infertility issue across the globe. Did you get that? Hello? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you from my end.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, sir. You're welcome
Thank
back.
you, Sharon. Okay, thank you so much. Sorry for that. Okay, so the lady that was speaking, can you please come again?
Okay, I said I am Aramide Yusuf, the founder of Optimal Health M&B Concept.
Yeah.
We are solving the issue. We are solving the problem of infertility issue. And I said research has is that people born to mothers that are above the age of 30 with the fact that there is an increase in infertility issue across the globe.
Okay, so there is an increase in infertility issue across the globe. Now, that is a very bogus and audacious statement. Where did you get that data? Do you have any data to support that?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, so next time you will come up with something like this. 3 out of every African mother suffers infertility due to blah, 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 blah.
Africa.
So things like that would spur interest than just saying that there is one infertility somewhere, and all that. Do you get the idea?
No, I didn't get that, sir.
Okay, I'm saying that next time you start with things like, for example, you say you have statistics to back this up. So you could say 10% of or 50%, I don't know the percentage, I'm just using an example. So to say like 50% of African mothers or women undergo mental issue or whatever issue or undergo infertility, that's a problem on its own already. Do you understand? So you need to come up with like a statistic, maybe 2 out of every 5, maybe 3 out of every 5, or 10% of women from the statistics you have got. So it means that you're speaking from an informed perspective, not just some anybody can come up with.
Okay, I think I already did that. Maybe I'll just I said 50% of babies are born to mothers that are over the age of 30. So that's a research-based statement.
Okay. Yeah. So we start with that. It's like I'm sure most of us are graduates. It's like you're defending a project. All right. You need to start with a very catchy statement that would spur interest. All right. So that's that. All right. So I believe we get the idea of what the problem statement or need statement is about. You are talking about the problem. I wish we had more opportunities for people, because I know a lot of persons do not know how to, they know the problem they are solving, but they don't know how to accurately convey the message that they are trying to pass across. And if you cannot do that, sometimes it's not the best ideas that get funded, but the best presentation. All right. So you need to find a way to present your idea in an appealing way that the business investor will really be interested in giving you money. Not just to say there is this problem. You need to be sure of that. So let me just go on. So please, I believe we have gotten the need statement, the problem, the solution you're bringing on table, the impact of the solution, and the ask. The last part, which is the ask, how much do you need exactly? How much? You need to be very sure, okay, we need $5 million to execute this, and this. That's very, very direct. So then the project's narrative now goes on to talk about how you will undergo, how you will spend the money, what you are planning to do, what you have already done. Then the budget is basically explaining, by the time you write your business plan or you have a business plan class, there is a financial statement that must always follow your business plan. So usually you will see people ask for minimum of 3 years financial projection for a new business. So it does usually come in like an Excel sheet, that you will submit to the grant body. So it's a projection of the next 3 years. Some might ask for more, but the basic one that you should have handy anytime, anywhere is the 3 years projection plan for your business. And then the goals and objective and the sustainability plan, right? Sustainability plan. That is that. So one that I did not write here that is usually, has been coming up recently is the exit plan. The exit plan. What is your plan for this business? Is it forever? Is it for a while? And the likes. So those are the basic elements of a successful grant application writing. Let's move on. Please, if you have any questions, you can just drop them in the comment section. I will see them and respond appropriately. Or maybe the questions comes later. Okay, so the executive summary, just like the project summary I said earlier, is the first thing that catches the reader's attention, and it provides a brief overview of your proposal and why your organization deserves to be funded. Now, statement of need, yes, like I said, it conveys urgency and communicates how a need or issue is unmet in a specific community. No, so the impact of your business is very important. There are some businesses that are good, but their impact is small. So because of the size of the impact, the funding may not come to you, not because your idea is bad, but because the people you are focusing on, the number is not sufficient to either cause any significant global impact or to bring back the kind of money you are asking for. If you are asking for money, like let's say, let's just stick to $1 million. They ask for $1 million and you are solving a problem for just maybe 5 schools or 10 schools. That's like asking for too much, because how many children are in those 5 schools? But if you're talking about maybe $1 million and you're talking about, okay, I'm seeing a ask here. Okay, somebody wrote, Peter Disa, problem, lack of access to educational and counseling resources for schools and school counselor. What is this lack of access causing to either the counselors or the children? You've not stated what the problem is, sir. I know the problem to you is lack of access to these things. The lack of access, what is it causing? Is it really, I think you're the one that said it's causing students are not, they are confused or something. So find a way to factor in that confusion in the problem statement. Then you said the solution, you're providing is you're creating a platform as a one-stop shop for schools to access their resources, to access these resources to facilitate effective counseling delivery. Okay, that's okay. The impact. The students will be empowered with the right information that will cut across educational, career, and social personal issues. Yeah, but now, see that this your impact as not necessarily connected with your problem. So if the problem was that students are confused, now the impact is students will be, they have an assurance or they have a direction of where to go. It will be easy for students to pick a course and all that. So you need to be able to connect the problem with the impact. Then they ask, you need funding. How much do you need? You've not asked. You need to be very, very specific. We need $100,000 to do this. So please, thank you, Adisa, for this quick one. If you could just write it with those things I've said, I believe you will come up with something a lot better. All right, so let me move on. Goals, objective. I think I've spoken about most of this. Okay, partnership and collaboration. I've not said anything about that. Partnership indicates to funders that there are other entities that are invested in the success of your project or business. Now, so for those that have been in business for a while, if you have partners while you're trying to write for a grant, it would be good that you mention it to the new person you are pitching to, because they need to be aware what they are entering, if they are the only one or others. Anyway, if whether you talk about it or not, later, they would request documentation and these things will come up. So I will always advise business owners, never lie in your proposal. Never lie in your proposal. Will we get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation? Yes, I'll send it to the organizers, so they will send it to you guys. All right. So never lie in your proposal, be very open to them. Then documentations. So these are part of the documentations that may support your presentation. You may have like pictures, you may have videos, testimonials, and the likes, just to support. But like I said, this may not totally do the justice for everything you may need to write, but these are like the basic expectation of any grant writing body. All right. So how do you craft a compelling grant proposal? Now, grant writing is never, don't make your grant writing about the money you need or what you need. You need to convince the investor that you really want to solve a problem, that you're interested in the life of those you are solving the problem for. That is not just about the money. So that means you need to go big with information about, okay, the people themselves, how this problem has really affected their lives, and how your solution is like the final solution for them. So you need to be very, very convincing. Funders wants to know about the need being served. So you need to write about the problem. I wish everyone can please just quickly in the comment section, write the problem they are solving for me. I want to be sure people here are getting the information. If not, getting a grant might be a problem. So for example, I wanted to write a grant some years ago, and I was into, okay, I started writing for grants since 2014 or so. So that's about 10 years ago. So 2014 or so, while I was in the university. Okay. I'm seeing outdated menus. I don't get that clearly. Please explain that. Easy collection of plastic waste is not a problem statement. What is the plastic waste? What is the problem it's causing? What's the problem plastic waste is causing? That's what you need to talk about. So back to what I was saying. So I was 2014 was writing grants as a student. So basically, I wrote grant for 2 years. I could not get anything until what is the non-collection problem causing? You said the focus is on collection of plastic waste. I'm talking to Emmanuel, right? Is on collection. So what is the problem that not collecting it is causing? All right, that's a problem. Okay. Inflation is causing the price of food menus to constantly change. All right, good. So we are talking something here. So now you sound like you want to solve the problem of food inflation. I'm talking to Urgent. I believe I'm talking to that person now. Okay, Ayedun Yemisi said we solve food security problems by providing fresh and healthy meals for people in the state. All right, excellent. Yeah, so but if I were to write your problem statement again, I'll be talking of the number of families that probably die from lack of food, the number of people that enter into problems because of lack of food. That is a more, because you need to realize that the investors usually are human beings with emotions, and they are solving problems that align with their emotional and personal values, right? So you need to find a way to tailor it to be um, emotional in a way. You must have heard that. You must have heard that we most of us make decisions based on emotions, even though we try to convince ourselves that it is logical, right? So that's what I'm saying. Okay, Sam Mayo said helping low-income earners or SMEs to access electricity by financing solar. So I would say the problem is SMEs are losing businesses. SMEs are shutting down because of lack of affordable or lack of access to affordable electricity, right? That is now the problem. The problem is that SMEs are shutting down or businesses are closing down. Now, the cause of that problem is they don't have access to low, uh, you know, electricity source. So that is the problem you are solving. Okay, I think I'm getting okay. The last person, I'm solving one of the three basic needs of life, which is clothing. It's a basic need. What is lack of clothing causing? I'm trying to help us see that we need to be more expressive in our explanation, not just throwing words at investors like that. All right, you need to be expressive. Find a better way of saying what you're saying. All right, let me just quickly move on. Thank you very much for participating in that. So the purpose of grant writing is to convince an organization or a person to fund your proposal. To fund your proposal. Right. So imagine I come up to say, Funke was a promising young lady who had okay, let me just finish this. We'll go on a short break very soon. So, like I was trying to explain, I said, for example, let's say Funke was a promising lady who is focused on reaching the apex of her career. However, because she had an unprotected sex with her boyfriend, she contacted a disease that cut short her life. this is the story of many young ladies in Africa. But my business is providing an affordable, you know, is it condom or sex or protection pill that protects the life of young ladies from dying from STDs, right? So that is a problem. Now, the story that I just explained is just being emotional to get across to the investor's mind. So I know you all know the problems you are solving, but the challenge I'm having now is expressing it in a way that evokes emotions, that invites the emotions of the investors. And one thing you have to learn as a business owner, especially if you are going to be doing the presentation for your business, is the art of storytelling. You need to be able to tell a story around your business. Find out a story so that when you start with that story, it captivates the mind of the anybody you are presenting to. All right, so research before you start writing any grant. We've spoken about that. Then you start planning your grant. Okay, so before I go on, I would like us to take a 20 minutes break or so, please. So I was told they want to address you guys for some minutes. So I'll be back like 11:20 to continue the class. If you have a question, you can just drop it in the comment section. I will address it when I come back. Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, sorry for you. Okay. Oh, sorry. Now, so I was talking about appealing to the investors in by storytelling. You need to be able to tell the story in an appealing way. So have your organizational structure in place necessary to achieve your project goals, right? So no matter how, even if you are a sole proprietor, please have at least a structure. I'm sure we'll probably have seen those charts. You see the CEO, the COO, the CTO. So at least have a structure that shows that you are not the only one running this. Because usually investors are skeptical investing with someone that is just alone doing everything. So even if it's for the purpose of the grant, you could talk to your friend or sister or someone you trust, and you know they can work with you to just inform them that, okay, please, I'm applying for a program. On that program, I just made you my COO and all that, just for you to go have an organizational structure to show your investors and be sure that these people are trustworthy and people you can always reach out to in case they need to reach out to them. What do you hope to achieve with your project and who is to benefit from them? So please, you need to be able to explain very vividly how the people that how they will benefit from your project. Okay, I'm addressing girl child in secondary schools. They will access it this way, that way. Don't be ambiguous. Remember that it is your idea, but you are the one that is excited about the idea as of present. For you to get an investor to be interested or excited about your idea is what you are trying to do. So please don't be too excited about your idea and start showing big terms at investors. You need to be able to speak in a layman's terms so that any lay person can understand what you're saying. Like I said, the amount of money you need to be very specific and how you plan to use the money. What kind of funders exist and how your project matches with their goals and objectives. All right. So in case you need fast money for your business, just leave grant alone. Because getting grants it will take you 6 to 9 months. Like, grants have a lot of processes because grant is the money most times you are not returning. So because of that, the processes you will need to go through a lot of time is too much for you to say, okay, I need money, I need quick money, and you go to that. All right. So these are the types of fundings that exist if you are to categorize them. The first one is bootstrapping, followed by crowdfunding, then venture capitalists, angel investors, revenue financing, incubators, grants, loan, convertibles. So I will try to explain um, each one of them. Okay. I believe we can hear me. Just tell me yes if you can. I don't want to go so far without you guys hearing me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Now, bootstrapping is a very simple word. Most of us are probably familiar with it. Bootstrapping is the first funding you do for your business. If you're a new startup here or you're just starting, bootstrapping is the way to go because it will be hard to convince an investor to invest in your business now that you don't have a track record. Now, during COVID-19, Facebook brought out an application for grants that I was part of. And then they gave us some money and some Facebook adverts as, because of COVID-19 then. So one of the things they asked us to submit was our financial records since we started business, 3 years and the likes. So for someone that is just starting, there is no place you want to get those kind of documentations. An investor will ask you, okay, give me your financial record for the past 2 years, past 3 years, detailed financial records. For a new business, except you go and be fabricating some wrong numbers, which I always advise people not to try to do, because eventually, if you get the funding, the investor will do their due diligence and they will find you out eventually. So bootstrapping is the easiest form of funding. What is bootstrapping? Basically, you getting money for yourself. I try to tell entrepreneurs, if you're starting a business you're passionate about and you don't have money, because you are just starting, can you just go and get a job and save up, for your dream? You cannot just sit around doing nothing and say that an investor will come and give you money. Nobody will give you money for starter. The only organization I know, I think there's two of them also, that gives money to startups, right? They give money to startups without track record is the Tony Elumelu Foundation. And right now, from my last view, I think the 10th year, this year is the 10th year. So I hope they continue though. However, it's very choked and it is a by luck thing most times, not all the time though. But so basically, if you are just starting your business, please focus on bootstrapping, saving up to fund your dream, asking family and friends to give you. Bootstrapping and crowdfunding can actually go side by side. Crowdfunding, just like the name implies, is many people pulling funds together to start your business. Now, the easiest people to convince to give you money are your parents, friends, and family members. So I always tell people that don't ever believe the lie that crowdfunding cannot work in Nigeria. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. A lot of people will be like, oh, even your family member will not give you money. Who will give you money to come and start business? No, it is because you yourself, most times, have not shown yourself eligible to be funded. That was some times ago, I had an idea, and every time I have an idea, I try to explore them, whether they work or not. And as business people, you must agree with me that it's not every business idea that comes to your mind. If you try, will scale and work out. I believe we know that. Now, so a business just came to my mind and I'm like, okay, I would like to do this business with someone or ask someone to fund me. Now, I've been doing business for over 7 years and these people know me. I just posted on my WhatsApp status that, okay, I need 100,000 naira to start a small business aside the one I'm doing, and I would like to partner with anyone that is willing to partner with me. Interestingly, I got 3 offers, 3 people that wants to give me 100,000. Now, somebody will say, is that possible? Yes, it is possible. I literally just posted on my WhatsApp status, I need 100,000. And three people reached out, okay, can I give you the 100,000? And what percentage and blah, 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 blah. Now, eventually one of them gave me the money and the business kickstarted. That did not happen because they just knew me today. These guys have known me to run businesses over years. They've seen how dedicated, serious, and committed I am. They perceive me as as worthy of investing. So that was why it was easy. So you need to ask yourself, if you have spoken to all your family members, all your friends, your church, your mosque, nobody is willing to give you money. It's either you have not proven that you are really interested in running business. Maybe it's just a part-time thing you are doing, and nobody wants you to use their money to experiment. I hope you understand. Nobody wants you to use their money to experiment. So nobody would use their money like that. You must have shown that you are worthy of investment. If you're a serious person, you can actually organize an hangout, and during the hangout, you just give people light refreshment. Then you come forward with a very, very well prepared documentation. A well prepared documentation explaining how the business you want to start would make profit. Unless those that are around you are not serious too, or they don't have the kind of money you are looking for. I believe if you are very convincing, you can convince one or two persons to actually give you money. So this is one of the things you need to go through. Bootstrapping, you may need to go get a job, and you use the money salary from that job to do what? To fund your business. Crowdfunding, you may need to reach out to family and friends that would believe in you and do what? And give you money. It's easier to convince them. All right. So I believe now we understand what bootstrapping is and crowdfunding. Someone say something? Okay. No. Right, let me go on. Now, venture capitalists and angel investors. I would like to speak on the two of them at the same time. Now, venture capitalists, they typically package their investments into funds which are placed with institutions with high net worth. So if you are just starting a business, forget about venture capitalists. They don't invest in small businesses. They invest in businesses with what? High net worth, right? So they are not those for small people. You need to have some certain level of results, track records, financial stability or strength for a venture capitalist to do what? To give you money. But uh, angel investors, on the other hand, they are a bit lenient. Uh, all right. They may help you to kickstart your company. Then later, venture capitalists will be the ones to scale the company. So sometimes angel investors still give you money even though you are just starting. If your presentation or proposal or business idea is really convincing, is really, really convincing. I don't know how many of us are familiar with shows like Lions Den, is it Dragons Den also? There are quite a number of them like that. You must have seen people come forward to pitch their businesses, and you see how they are scrutinized in front of those investors. So some of them are like angel investors, some of them are venture capitalists who wants to help you move forward from where you are. So you need to ask yourself, what stage are you now? What kind of funding can you access? Are you eligible to meet an angel investor? Are you eligible to meet a venture capitalist? Ask yourself those questions. So we also have accelerators. Accelerators basically help existing businesses to speed up their rate of growth. So accelerators may and may not provide funding, but they provide access to investors. They provide access to mentorship. They provide you with materials. They could provide you with a workspace, an office space. So these are the things accelerators do. Programs like CC Hub, I believe most of us are aware or knows about CC Hub. They create programs like this, accelerating programs. So an existing company that enters that program, it will help them with what they need to do next to scale to the next level. Then we have incubators. Uh, so incubators are very similar to accelerators, but just like the name implies, to incubate. So basically, they take very, very young startups or people with just ideas that just want to start a company, and they take them through the basics, just like the programs you guys are in. You are being given the basic information, the basic mentorship required um, for you to start your business or to grow your startups, right? So that's what incubators do. Accelerators helps you. You're already existing. You're doing fairly well. So they help you accelerate your growth so that you can get to the next level of scale. Incubators helps you from start as a startup to reach a level where you can stabilize. Now, each of these programs may or may not provide uh, funding alongside, but they can give you the right connections, the right network with people. Now, loan. Loan should be the last option you want to look at as a startup. Because if you start a business with a loan, the kind of pressure you are starting with will most probably guarantee you fail, because the loan people will be on your necks if things go south. So you need to be careful the kind of funding opportunities or kind of funding sources you are exploring. Now we have convertible debts. Convertible debt is basically you taking sorry, you taking materials, okay, that you want to use uh from a company, and you pay up gradually. All right. I don't know if you guys get it. Let me come again. Convertible debt basically is a business you borrow money from a lender or investor, uh, and both of you will now enter an agreement, all right, for you to repay all of the money by converting it to certain number of shares in the future. So they are giving you money that in the nearest future, you will convert that money, instead of you to pay back in cash, it will now become a share in your company. So basically, they are buying shares ahead with the hope that your company would, scale as they expect it to be. So that's not very common for small businesses also. That's not very common for small businesses. And the last one I just want to talk about is the revenue financing. All right. Revenue generally is money generated from your business. All right. So this one is talking about the money generated for your business, that royalty. You are basically giving royalties. So it's almost close to convertible debt, very close to convertible debt, in the sense that it is a futuristic reaping or a futuristic benefit for those that are investing in your business. All right. Do you guys get that? Or I should come again? Just tell me in the comment section. I just want to be sure we're on the same page. Did you understand the explanation? Okay. Sameyo says you understand. All right. Any other person? Just to be sure we're on the same page. Okay, I should come again with the revenue financing. Okay. Revenue-based financing is basically like a kind of financing for growing businesses. It's not for startups, it's for growing businesses. So the investor gives you money, and later they are to get a particular percentage on your gross revenue. So the payments can increase or decrease based on so they are getting money based on how much money you are making in the business. Again, investors are giving you money that, okay, after we're giving you this money, after a while, right, we are going to get returns, this particular percentage of returns from the gross revenue, all right, with payments increasing or decreasing based on the business revenue. So it could be on a monthly something. So you probably be paying back these investors monthly or so. So these convertible debts and revenue financing are quite delicate in the sense that you have to be sure before you enter so that you will not be it will not be a rip-off for you. You need to consider the terms and conditions carefully. So revenue financing is basically investors giving you money that, okay, when you start making profit, we will do what? We will start getting a particular percentage, which could be monthly or otherwise. Convertible debt is money that you borrowed, all right? Borrowed, and you are giving out a particular share. No, so they are very close in. So, but convertible debt is not based on the revenue you're making, it's based on your agreed percentage. But revenue financing is based on, okay, is this the amount we made that we are taking this amount like that, like that. Okay. So, stages in startup financing and fundraising. So, sorry, number one is pre-seed, not pre-seed. Pre-seed funding, pre-seed funding. So, second one is seed funding, series A, B, C, and the likes. Now, most of us are in the pre-seed funding. Let me just use this chart to easily explain. I believe we can all see the charts easily. Yeah, like I said earlier, the slide will be with the organizers. So now if you can see my screen very well, you will see the different stage of funding. So we have more than this, but these are the basic ones that might concern us in this class. Let me just quickly explain a bit. Then after the break, we'll come back to it. So most of us are in the pre-seed funding. Under pre-seed funding, the kind of investors you have are your family and friends, grants, incubators, crowdfunding. They are the people that will first of all believe in you because you are just in your idea stage. You're just starting your business. It's on a very small scale. So these are the kind of funding you should be going for. So most of us on this call are on the pre-seed. Now, when you use languages like this, when you meet an investor, it kind of shows how serious and versatile you are. So we can just keep some of those languages in our mouth. For the tech guys here, I'm sure you'll be familiar with the Series A, Series B, and the likes. These are just different series. Funds raised after funds. So just to say, okay, we've raised our pre-seed funding of this particular amount, then we are now in the seed funding. So from the chart, you can see the amount that each stage. So if you have not been able to raise $10,000, all right, it means you are still where in the pre-seed, right? Yes, of course, you can still, some people consider $5,000 to still be seed funding, all right, which is not a bad idea. But generally, this is like a general idea around it. Now, the problem most of us we also have is in our business valuation. Is in our business valuation. So please, can someone, okay, because of time, we'll start from this business valuation when we return from the break. Because it's very important. Some of us may just be undervaluing our company, and some of us may be overvaluing. So you need to, okay, what am I going to consider when I want to value my company? We are not going to go in depth to it because it can take a whole lot of time. It's a different class, but I will just give a brief overview of what it takes to value the company. Because if you undervalue your company before an investor, they can rip you off by the kind of percentage they ask you to bring. And if you overvalue it, that might be the reason you will lose them. They will ask you questions, just like I gave example of those TV shows, Lions Den, Shark Tank, and the likes. They will always ask you, okay, for example, you say, okay, I need $100,000 for 10% of my company. They'll be like, okay, are you saying your company is $1 million? So there's a way they calculate that. So I will go over that briefly when we return by 11:30. Sorry, when we return after this break. We are going on a break now. I was told that I think the organizers wants to speak with you guys. So please stay on the call. We'll be back in another 30 minutes. 30 minutes. So that by 12 o'clock, the class will commence again. So please, thank you very much for listening to me for this few times. Please stay on the call. The organizers will be addressing you now. Thank you.
Good morning.
Okay, so
Which one you be? So these are some of the seed stage fundings that exist, and now you can belong to them. All right. So we have the pre-seed just on a general base and simplified manner. We have the pre-seed seed series A, B. You can keep having series A, B, C, D as the case may be, and the like. So I was trying to say that valuing our business can be a challenge because if you undervalue your business, it can be dangerous, especially when negotiating with an investor. So how can, I will not go into details because this is not a business valuation class, but I will just give an overview. So there are different ways you can value your business. There are different ways you can value your business. There's one called book valuing. That's basically considering your balance sheet, right? The amount of money you have as of present. This system is not very effective because it's actually based on the past. You're only using what has happened already in the business. If you look at your balance sheet only contains, liabilities, assets, revenue, cash flow, and the likes. So, but still, it is what has happened in the past, and your company might have a great potential of growth. So, if you use just your balance sheet, it may not speak very well of the business, maybe undervaluing most times. So, what people use most time is discounted cash flow. Basically, you're estimating the company based on the money or cash flow it is expected to generate it in the future. So you are having your valuation based on your financial projection. You are projecting that you are going to be making a certain kind of money, all right, in the future. So you are projecting based on that. And you cannot even do that without having a solid financial background. So most times when people value their company, they give it to an accountant or somebody that is experienced to help them value it properly. You might have patents. Most times when people value, they look at the tangible things alone, maybe their structure, their gadgets, their equipment, their staffing and the likes. But there's a lot much more to valuing your business. Yeah, so you can value your company looking at the things that are also intangible in terms of futuristic ideas, things to come, your market size value, So some of the things you consider when valuing your business. So you could do more research on business valuations so that you can properly value what you are your business. Somebody is drawing again, so I have to go through this process again. Okay, so please try and not draw anything on the screen again, please. All right. So you can do more research on business valuation so that you properly value your business as of present. Some of you might actually have businesses that are worth thousands of dollars based on projected revenue. But because you're not aware or you don't know how to value your business properly, you might be presenting your business to an investor in a bad light. And by the time things turn out very well, you will discover that you've just shot yourself in the leg. So please find out how to properly value your business. So for pre-seed, you see the kind of people that invest. For seed, you see the kind of people that invest, angel investors, venture capitalists. Crowdfunding, well, yes, you might have that kind of business where network where you can get $10,000. Well, that's a wonderful network you have there. If you have people that will give you $10,000 upward for crowdfunding, but anything higher than 10,000 to $2 million, you're talking Series A, B. So for those that are conversant with tech world, you must hear them like, oh, we just raised our Series A funding, Series B funding, and they talk in millions of dollars, thousands of dollars. So these are some of the processes involved. All right. So how do you prepare for funding? So you need to have these documents anytime, anywhere. And the easiest place or the easiest way to do this is to have them online. All right. I believe most of us here are conversant with probably the cloud systems, Google Drive, as the case may be. So you should have a bankable business plan properly written. All right. You should have a pitch deck. Pitch deck is also a document that is concise, summarized, and brief, straight to the point, that helps anybody to understand your business. I should have rehearsed your elevator pitch over and over and over again, right? So your business plan, I said earlier, should be a living document. What I mean by living document is you should be able to edit a few things to align to the goal of the investor or the funding body you are applying to per time. Don't just submit one business plan to everybody. They have their different interests, they have their different goals. So you need to have that stored so that anywhere, anytime, you can just download it and upload as the case may be. Then you have a pitch deck. It's not pitch desk, sorry, that's a typo error. Pitch deck, DECK. So the pitch deck, somebody saying something? Please mute your mics. So the pitch deck is an important document. It's a summarized document. I believe in the course of your program, you should have a class where you will be taught how to write a business plan, how to write a pitch deck, and how to craft an elevator pitch. So an elevator pitch can easily, your need statement that we're doing the work the other time, talking about the problem, solution, impacts, and ask, can be your elevator pitch, all right? Shark Tank, Lions Den, Dragons Den, whatever den, um, you will see those guys come forward and quickly pitch their businesses. So everyone on this meeting should be able to pitch their business within a minute or two and say the most important thing that will spur the interest of any listener. So if you have not been rehearsing your pitch deck, please start doing it. If you are a serious business person, I need you to really believe that you can get funded anytime. All right. So please prepare your elevator pitch. And lastly, you need like a 3 years financial projection plan. All right. This usually comes in an Excel sheet. Okay. So you should have it and uploaded also. Now, this is a projected plan, not like your current business plan, except you are asked to submit your current business transaction plans. All right. So this is a projection. It comes with an Excel sheet usually. So that is that. Those are the basic documents. Then you need to validate your idea. So please start. Every big idea has a way of starting small. Start your idea already. It is always easy when investors know that you have also made some effort. You have made some efforts to put yourself out there, test if the idea is viable, not just, you can get really, really excited with your idea. And you yourself inside your room, you're just so excited, fascinated, like, wow, this idea will shake the world, blah, blah, blah. Test it first, validate it, put out a small part of the product, see how people respond. That is part of the experiences we use when defending your business. All right, have your legal document. Please register your business if you have not registered your business. The easiest one to do is register as a business name, and you can always upgrade later. But please stop doing business without registration. Register in case you are on this call and you've not registered your business somehow. Please do what? Find a way. You can do it yourself. The CAC website is quite friendly now. And if you can't, you can always employ someone to do it for you. All right. The next document you should have, Andy, is your financial records. Now, a lot of Nigerian business people, even though they are young, act like old people. Even old people these days have like a small exercise book that they write, okay, I sold 15,000 today, I bought 5,000 something, and they keep that record so that they can track their progress, you know. So as a young person doing business, even if you're old here, you could take advantage of technology. There's a lot of online bookkeeping apps that you could take advantage of. The one I usually use is Wave apps. You know, there are many other Zoho. There are so many other ones that will help you keep track, so that whenever you need a financial record, you can just download, just like you have your bank statement sent to you by the bank. So you can also access the bookkeeping you've been keeping for a long time and present it. I talked about the Facebook grant I got in 2020, but from Facebook. One of the important documents they requested for was our financial record. So all I did was go online, download the financial records, okay, for 3 years, and I sent it to them. And I believe it's one of the reasons why I was given the grant there. So please keep your records properly. If you have not been keeping records, start keeping it today. Even the days you don't make sales, you probably bought something. You know, no matter how small the sales were, write it down. It's going to matter in your journey as an entrepreneur. Bookkeeping is an important skill you must have. All right, next is build a strong team. Now, when I say build a strong team, I don't mean hire a strong team. You may not need to hire teams members as you're starting. You may just work with one or two persons that's maybe a friend or two that understands your business and are rooting for you to do well in that business. They don't have to work full time. You might just talk to them from time to time. When you are writing an application, their names are involved. For example, when you're preparing a pitch deck, one of the important slides is the slide where you put pictures and names and the qualification of your team members. Now, if you are just the only one appearing on that stage, it might be a red flag to a lot of investors. So they are hoping that you will be able to present yourself and maybe two or three other persons. They don't have to be full-time workers with you. They could be your friends. They could be anyone you trust to be on your team. Just give them positions for now with properly written agreement, because it's very important you don't sign the wrong agreement as you're starting up. Things can go south and, you know, all kinds of things. But properly agree with writing, write down, okay, this is what you are doing for me for these terms and condition. And just so that you just have a team. Then having a team, don't just bring anybody on board. If you are working as a farmer now or agricultural company, it is expected that you have an experienced farmer on your team. It is expected that you have someone that understands the market, someone that can sell food. So don't just bring a banker to stay on a girl child program or business. You know, make sure that the people that are on your team have relevant skills. These are part of the things investors take note when they are accessing your grants or proposal writing. They try to look, okay, the team members, are they the kind of people that should be on the team, or you just brought all kinds of persons and put them there? Now, have an online presence. During the break session, I heard a few things before I left. The lady that addressed you was talking about having an online presence is very important. Many times. Now, I think about 2 years ago, a friend of mine applied for these Nigerian bureaus grant, and during the application, he was almost given the grant. So while he was almost given the grant, he got um online with the interviewers. They were on a Zoom meeting like this, and while they were in the Zoom meeting, the interviewers asked him, "Is your website ready?" Then he said yes. So while he was still talking, not knowing, they were already trying to access the website. Unfortunately, the developers he gave money to develop the site had not launched the site. So they saw it was like a discrepancy, like what's going on? This guy said his website is on, but we can't see anything. That was how he lost that grant that year. Fortunately, he was able to reapply and he actually got it the following year. So having an online presence can actually be instrumental to you getting your grant. Having a proper social media, please separate your business social media from your personal social media. All right. Don't go post your personal lifestyle if you are planning to do business properly. All right. You can promote your business on your personal social media, but separate them. Have a social media for your business, have a social media for yourself. All right. Naturally, your business is an entity that should be able to exist on its own. If you have the money, by all means, have a properly designed website. By all means, if you have the money. If you don't have the money, I think Google has this low budget or zero budget website you can create for yourself, at least to run for a while. But the one that I know is free and can still be official is your social media account, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, Instagram, and the likes. This can be part of the things investors will check out. Like, okay, this guy said he's been doing business for a while. Let us see if he's been active online. And this can actually contribute to the success of the application. Right? Learn how to sell and present your business to a complete stranger. All right? Learn how to sell your business to a complete stranger. Some of us needs to practice that elevator pitch very well. Very well. This is not a life class. I would have asked that one or two persons try to sell us their business. And let's see who will buy in this class. But I'm not sure that would be very effective right now. So let me just go on. So please learn how to sell. One of the ways you rehearse your elevator pitch is properly write it down. It shouldn't be too bulky. It should be something you can memorize and tweak as the situation demands. Remember, you are not trying to pitch. Don't be so fascinated with your business idea, but on the interest of the investor. If the investor is interested in girl child, find a way your business will talk about girl child. If the investors are interested in tech, find a way to factor tech into your business. If the investors are interested in Africa, in whatever thing they are interested, find out and tweak your business idea in that direction. All right. So create a prototype or MVP, that's most viable product. You need to generate traction. It is very hard for you to get business investments without having generated some traffic to yourself. So before you look for money, start by generating traction. Start the business already. Do something. Keep records. Have pictures. Have documentation. Properly document things. Because in days to come, the guys that has the kind of money you are looking to do your business with will require these documentations. All right. You need to have a market expansion plan. So when you meet an investor or you're writing your proposal, one of the questions you want to ask or respond to is how you plan to scale your business. Nobody wants to fund a business that cannot be scaled. Some people run businesses that cannot go beyond their community. So I said earlier before we had break that solve a problem that has significant impact, not just within your immediate community, a problem that can scale, that you can see that, okay, the same model can be replicated in different areas. How can you cover, okay, we are within Anambra for now. How can you cover the whole of Southeast? How can you move to Southwest? How can you cover Nigeria? How can you cover West Africa? Then Africa, then the world. These are the kind of things investors like to think of, because they're like, okay, after I give this money now, am I sure that this will be worth it eventually? Will this business go beyond the current level? So please, while you're working on your business, ask yourself of your expansion plan. All right. Quality, commitment, and integrity. You need to show that you're a person of integrity. Let what you are saying and what you've written align. A lot of times, especially if you're dealing with the whites, when you've submitted an online application, you will just see their call one day. They will just call you out of the blues and they will start asking you questions. And God help you that what you have written is what you are saying. If not, they will assume you are trying to lie to them. So please avoid lying. Be able to defend your proposal anytime, anywhere. All right. Clear path on how the funds will be spent and repaid, if it's a loan or equity. So you need to be clear. Okay, I need 5 million naira. The 5 million naira will be used for this, this, this. Now, some people will say, okay, but the money I'm asking for, my inflation might have increased the money by the time investors have given me money. Yes, that's why before you write, you have to consider the inflation rate of your business or your country before you just say, if currently we are in April, if all you need now is 5 million naira, you should consider that things are rising in the market. So what is the possible rate at which, let's say, the funding will come in another 3 months? What would have become that 5 million? Can it still buy the same thing as at that time? So you need to put this into consideration so that you will not end up getting funding that will still not be enough to achieve your goal. Then you need to align how you plan to pay. So when you're negotiating with your investor, you need to be able to tell them, this is the plan. After 2 years, I'll be able to pay if it's an equity or loan base. Ask yourself, how much equity are you willing to let go? All right. I'm happy this class, the question I asked when I started, about 10% of $1 million, 100% of $100,000. So it is about how much are you willing as the founder to let go? You need to ask yourself that before you meet investors. For example, if you look at those shows I was talking about that people go to pitch their business, on the spot, investors will start negotiating percentage. And you have to be careful how much you are letting go, if it's worth it or not. If you have not thought of possible escape routes in front of the investors, there's high chance you let go of too much because they are naturally experienced more than you. They understand why they are asking for the percentage they're asking for. So you yourself needs to be able to think on your feet and give appropriate response. So ask yourself now, how much, if I meet an investor, how much do I need now? And how much equity am I willing to give away? And you need to be sure that the equity aligns with your valuation. So you must have done your business valuation. When you've done your business valuation, then how much you need, then how much equity do you need? Because if you say, okay, I need $10,000 for 10% of my company, what you are saying is your company is currently worth $100,000. So by the time, so those things you must put into consideration. Appropriate valuation of business will say that viability to raise additional funds if necessary. So we talked about seed funding, Series A, Series B. Each of these stages is talking about times when you need to raise additional funds. And trust me, if you are planning to do a business that will grow and go far, you will have to raise funds from time to time. There's no company that grows solely based on their own funds. They need to ask investors to come in, invest with them, and move forward. So you need to consider now, if I give out 20% now, that means I have 80%. By the next round of fundraising, I may need to give out another share again, right? So you need to consider this, Then exit strategy. Exit strategy is when you plan to sell off the company or gain the company. When you plan to sell off a part of your company or all of the company. So many of us don't plan to buy exits. If you listen to the story of business people, you see them, things like they stop being CEO, they become chairman. Some of them are not even part of the business. They're just getting something from the business. Because the place where the money is the most is investment. When you invest in a company and the company is doing well, you are basically enjoying without stress, right? So you need to have an exit strategy. Are you guys with me? If you are with me, can you just use the icon button in the chat section to say you're with me? If you can hear me, please just go to the comment section. Okay, thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you so much. More hands, please. More hands, please. Just to be sure I'm talking to. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I see many people are talking. Oh, excellent. Thank you so much. All right. All right. So let me go on. So how to get the fund? Refine your business idea. Thank you very much, guys. Refine your business idea. You need to be able to work on your business idea. Some of us, ideas don't come out fully formed. So over time, we need to work on our business idea to see that it aligns, number one, with the goal of the investor, and it is innovative, it is captivating, it is interesting. All right. Even if it is fashion design that you're doing, many people are doing fashion design, and most probably, many people that are doing the same fashion design will apply for the same grant or opportunity you're applying for. So the question is, why you? Why should you be the one that will be selected? Why should you be the one that will be selected? I would have asked that somebody on mute to tell me, it's something that will wow me about their business. Because investors want to say, like, okay, wow, this is not currently existing. What can we do? How can we come in? But if it's just the normal, I sew clothes, our clothes are beautiful, they are unique, that every fashion designer will say that exact same thing. So what is different? What is unique about your business idea? There's an example I always use. I'm sure most of us knows these Lipton tea bags, right? Lipton tea bags. So I'm like, okay, Zobo, right, is a traditional drink, and it has to be prepared, rigorous process and sold on by hawkers, and you are not sure of the purity of the water that was used and the like. So what if someone comes up with an idea? Zobo is made from hibiscus flower. So if the flour is now dried, made to be a granulated one, and somehow you could make it work with some chemicals that even in cold water, because naturally Zobo should be made first in hot water, then it will be allowed to cool and the likes. So if you could make your own, that anyone you could put the granulated hibiscus flour into a tea bag, just like Lipton, that you can just remove anywhere and dip into hot water and it becomes a tea. So anywhere you can just remove the hibiscus flower tea bag and put it in water anywhere, and you have your Zobo. So, that is quite interesting. Good. So he said a friend is already packaging Zobo like Lipton. Excellent. So that's a kind of beautiful idea of what to do, right? So it's innovative. So the question you should ask yourself is there an innovation to what you do? By the time I ask everybody on this call now, there's probably there's no idea I've not heard it before. What would differentiate you is that innovation you've added to that existing idea. So ask yourself, make sure you have that wow factor, in your idea. Now, I've said this: create a solid business plan, pitch deck, financial projection, and elevator pitch. Have this handy anytime, any day. Determine the kind of fund you need. Identify the right funding source. Do you need an equity fund or a grant fund? Do you need a venture capitalist or an accelerator program? Some people, is money they are looking for. Why they should be looking for mentorship? Because by the time they get the money, they will only waste it because they don't have the required experience. Loans and they squandered it. All right. Build a strong team. I've talked about that. Build a network and seek introduction, right? Please build a network. You guys, for example, now, at least on this call, I have about 50 persons or more, right? That is a network. You have a WhatsApp group That is a network. Try as much as possible to know as many people on that team, see those you can collaborate with. We're in the season of collaboration. The funding you are looking for may not come as fast as you need it, but the people on this team can know someone, can know someone that has the thing you are looking for. Some things you are hoping to buy with money, somebody can loan it to you, right? So please take advantage of your current network and find solution. There is a game now, exercise called reciprocity circle, where a circle of friends of people sits together. Each person talks, okay, there's a problem I'm facing, I need this particular solution. Then you discover that in that circle of friends or colleagues, somebody has a solution, or if not the exact solution, somebody has a connection to someone that has that solution. So most times the solution or the funding or the opportunity you are looking for is not far from you. It's just that we more in Africa most times don't like to collaborate or open up about our ideas. I understand the place of people stealing ideas, trying to reproduce it and the likes, but usually there's no fresh idea that much. It's just first to execute most times. And if you are afraid, don't share all of the details. Just talk about it. But the major thing is make sure you network, increase your network as much as possible. Increase your network. Let your network go far. Now, in 2021, because I was a TEF alumnus in 2019. So 2021, I had a friend, and somehow I was able to connect me with the state government. State government wanted to do like an empowerment program. So we have this guy that can teach your guys how to apply for grants and likes, just something like this. And that was how I was connected to the state government to facilitate the program. And it was a worthy connection, right? I didn't know the government myself, but I knew someone that knew what I could do and connected me to someone in government. So be sure to take advantage of the network of people. You don't know who you are on the WhatsApp group with. There are a lot of people with high influence that can connect you on the group. So don't just put your eyes outside that, okay, investors. The competition out there is quite immersed. But if your application is solid, you have a high chance. Now, conduct due diligence search for opportunities online. Negotiating terms. Before you appear before an investor, before you write a proposal, make sure you have thought thoroughly how much of your company you are willing to give. Sustain a winning mindset. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. All right. Every time you write an application for a grant, you learn a new thing. You develop a new idea. So don't be rigid with your business idea. Be ready to innovate. Be ready to innovate constantly. Don't be too attached emotionally to your idea. All right. Apply for as many opportunities as possible. All right. I try to apply for as many opportunities as possible. And, usually out of 10, you get 2, 3 of it. And every of those applications you write, both the ones you got and the ones you did not get, you are learning something new. So please keep applying, keep applying. The process is usually rigorous, but make sure you apply. All right. Secure the funding, maintain a financial discipline. Don't collect money or grant and go and get a car if a car is not what you needed. Don't collect money and go and start a party or organize a party. Make sure what you've used the money, you've asked the money for, is what you use the money for. For example, now, I'm sure most of us are aware of the Tony Elumelu Foundation Fund program. Now, when I got mine in 2019, most of the guys I also got, some people actually went and got married with grant money. Now, today, they don't have a business, right? So some people went and bought car. I don't know, maybe they want to be doing Bolt or Uber or something, So please, what you don't know that is most times when you get the first money you get is not the last money you could have gotten. The investor is looking at how you maintain your financial discipline, how serious you are with your work, and how productive. Then they can volunteer to add more money so that you can scale faster and higher. All right. Always show results and achievements. Always give back quarterly results. Let there be feedback between you and your investor. All right, we've mentioned most of these things. Identify the right fundings, study funding application, research your funding, find out which of the funders. Yes, we've talked about most of this. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have done this or you will do it very soon. Please, have you guys talked about business model canvas? Just tell me in the comment section, yes, no. Okay, no. All right. So I believe the class will come later, but just roughly, okay, no. Okay, thank you very much. I've gotten now. The canvas can help you easily access your business in points, bullet point, just bullet point. You can go on Google, you'll see this particular template. Take time, sit down, and try to analyze this. If by the time you finish this model, this canvas, you will have gotten a lot of insights at what to pitch at your investor, and you will have them in bullet points. It will help you to have a pictorial view, a single glance at your business at once. So please, I advise you guys to go online to try and use this model. I believe a class will still be organized that will talk about model canvas as the case may be. All right. Crafting a compelling, okay, we've talked about this. So please, just to emphasize, storytelling. You need to be able to, when you're writing a grant, it's like writing an essay. It has to be interesting. It has to be, you have to put the captivating things there so that the investor will be interested in reading what you're writing. Okay. Write in the way that the funders understand the funds, how the funds will impact people. Yes. Don't make the situation seems too bad that the funders think that their money won't make any impact. So don't try to be too, where you're trying, as much as you're trying to be expressive and tell a story, don't be too dramatic or don't tell lies. Let me put it that way. Don't tell lies of any sort. Tell the situation as it is and present your solution. Be sure to indicate how the project will sustain itself in the long run. Sustainability plan. You need to be able to tell them how the business will be sustainable. Don't start a business that cannot be sustained. Your key performance indication need to be stated. Now, executive summary, I talked about that. It's the simplest and the smallest unit. There's a summarized version of your entire plan, and it should be written last. This will help you tell the investor straight to the point what you want. Avoid basic spelling and grammatical mistakes. Catch the keeper and keep the reader's attention from onset. If a funder has a limit on the amount of money they will give you to your project, don't ask for more than that amount. So they already told you we have $10,000. You're not asking for $15,000 or $30,000. I don't know why. You can just limit what you need to that particular amount of money. But if it is an open end where you're asked to ask for any amount, why not? Ask for as much money as you need. When your application is being reviewed, there are two types of reviews. It goes through technical reviews and content review. The technical reviews is basically to check if you adhere to all the guidelines. Okay, 50 words here, write in capital letter. There are guidelines to writing. So if the guidelines to writing were provided, the reviewers will check if you adhere to every instruction you were given. And that can be a point to you. The other one is a content review. That's checking the actual thing you have written, if it actually makes sense to them, if the budget is right, if the plan is achievable, if the plan has to be SMART. That is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, right? So this, you have to make sure that what you're writing is real content, not just some chat GPT thing that you have mixed up and you are writing. Even if you are going to use chat GPT to help you, you still need to review it and rewrite to suit the funder's expectation. So funders also wants to see the funding they give your organization is not the only fund. So it is difficult for you that are just starting, that have not invested any money to get investment. All right. To get investment. So funders wants to see that, okay, you yourself, you have taken risk. Nobody wants to give you their money to be the one you use and take risk. So please be careful not to put yourself at risk by trying to start your business with the funder's money. Start with your own investment. Invest something. If your business is worthwhile, you yourself should have invested something. All right, budgeting. So you should have both revenue and expenses in your budgeting. How much money are you bringing in? How much money are you anticipating to spend? The source the money is coming from. You need to have all these evaluations properly written. An evaluation plan should, at minimum, clearly identify the target population, specific program objectives in measurable terms, identify key indicator of success. That, okay, by the time this and this happens, that means our business is now scaling. There's what is called a break even. You need to analyze, okay, how long will it take for you to break even in your business? That is how much money, how long will it take you to get to that place where the business now is making marginal profit, I mean, reasonable profit. So work with a lot of data when you're submitting your application. Don't just make assumptions. Try and get data. There are a lot of websites. I know of Statista. They give data, although some of them are paid. But sometimes when you go on Google, you can find some of these details. If you do your research extensively well, you'll find some of these details that you're looking for. All right, supporting documents, they need pictures, videos. If there's any other thing the investor is asking you to submit, you should be ready to submit. Finally, maintaining a good relationship with your funders. Every successful proposal opens doors to new opportunities. So don't just go after collecting money, you run away. No. Keep that relationship. There is more from where the money you have gotten is coming from. So I believe we've gotten value for our time in this class. Please remember the documents you must have: your business plan, your pitch deck, your elevator pitch, and the likes, your financial projection, your business registration, your tax registration, and the likes. Please try and have those things already before you go and meet investors. All right. If you need, you can write the business, all of these things yourself, go online and research. But if you need help with that, you can always reach out through the organizers. You can always reach out and we'll talk about how to help you. So that'll be the end of the class. If you have a question, I'll be glad to respond. If you have anything you'd like me to explain again on how to generate, on grant writing and accessing fund. So thank you very much, everyone, for your patience and listening attentively. I would like to know if you have questions for me. Thank you very much. Safe, I don't know if you're there. I'm done. Okay, I don't know if you guys
I'm
can hear
here.
me.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute this device.
Okay, so I was asking if there's a question or anything I need to go over to explain.